The United States and Iran exchanged strikes aimed at infrastructure and military targets as their battle over the Strait of Hormuz intensifies. Ukrainian drone attacks have killed at least 8 people at warehouses in Russia, according to regional Russian officials. The US and Iran exchanged strikes at infrastructure and military targets on Saturday as their battle over the Strait of Hormuz intensified for the 7th consecutive night. The US Central Command reported that its forces, quote, struck surveillance sites, military logistics infrastructure, underground weapons depot, and maritime targets. In a statement posted on social media, the US Central Command said its fighter jets, drones, and warships were involved in the operation. Local media, which is close to the Iranian Guards, reported that Iranian forces retaliated with attacks on U.S. allies and their bases in the region, including air bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. The strikes were confirmed by the Kuwaiti army and the Jordanian military, which reported that its air defense system had been activated to intercept the Iranian missiles in the early hours of Saturday. The latest fighting comes as Iran and the US vie for control of the Strait of Hormuz, an essential waterway that's used to carry a fifth of the world's crude oil, but where shipping traffic remains restricted amid the ongoing conflict. At least 8 people were killed and more than 60 others were wounded in Russia by overnight Ukrainian drone attacks, Russian officials said on Saturday. According to regional officials, 2 sprawling warehouses of Russia's major online retailer, Wildberries, were hit by Ukrainian drones overnight, one in the town of Kotovsk in the Tambov region and another in the city of Elektrostal, about 50 kilometers east of Moscow. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the strikes in a post on social media, saying, quote, the aggressor used them to supply sanctioned components for drone production and navigation equipment. Zelensky added that an oil facility was also hit. The attacks are the most lethal Ukrainian strikes reported inside Russia in more than 2 years. They come as Kyiv's forces continue their aerial campaign against energy infrastructure and military targets inside Russia, aiming to undermine Moscow's war effort and make Russians feel the consequences of the Kremlin's all-out invasion of Ukraine.
Mount Olympus's bid for inclusion on UNESCO's World Heritage List as a mixed natural and cultural site has entered its final stages. However, international evaluators are requesting additional information from Greece before a final decision is reached. According to the recommendations, further documentation is needed to support both the uniqueness of the natural environment and the cultural significance of the region.
Μεγαλώσαμε, είναι ο τόπος που βλέπουμε κάθε μέρα, αλλά παράλληλα είναι και ένας τόπος ο οποίος κουβαλάει επάνω του μύθο, ιστορία, βιοποικιλότητα, εξαιρετική ομορφιά και πάρα πολύ μεγάλο πολιτιστικό φορτίο.
At the same time, there are calls for stronger documentation of its cultural value. For local authorities, a possible UNESCO designation would represent international recognition for a site where mythology, history and nature come together.
Εφόσον λοιπόν η έκβαση είναι θετική και ο Όλυμπος ενταχθεί ως μνημείο παγκόσμιας κληρονομιάς της UNESCO, είναι φανερό ότι πρόκειται για κάτι πολύ μεγάλο που υπερβαίνει όχι μόνο τα τοπικά όρια αλλά τα εθνικά όρια, είναι κάτι που αφορά ολόκληρο τον κόσμο. Είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό, θα δώσει ασφαλώς πολύ περισσότερη όθηση. Βάζω όμως και την παράμετρο ότι βάζει και κάποιες περισσότερες υποχρεώσεις από τη δικιά μας τη μεριά να προστατεύσουμε αυτό το περιβάλλον.
Beyond its unique natural landscape, Mount Olympus has been a symbol of Greek culture and mythology for centuries. Its inclusion on UNESCO's World Heritage List would mark important international recognition, while also strengthen efforts to protect and preserve its natural and cultural heritage for future generations. The nomination will be examined during this year's session of UNESCO World Heritage Committee taking place in Seoul from July 19th to 29.